Hey there, Four States. This is Luke Taylor. Welcome to another edition of the KNEO Community Connection. And on this show, we like to talk about things that, a lot of times that are pertinent to right here in our community, but a lot of people from this area, we love to go out to Branson and see the shows out there each year. And there is a show that is at the Sight and Sound Theater that we want to make sure everybody knows about while they have a chance to see it. It's called David. And this show started, I think, last year, but it's still available this year out at the Sight and Sound Theaters. They put on great performances out there for several years now in the Branson area. And we're going to be chatting today with Cynthia Carson. She's a general manager out there at Sight and Sound in Branson. So, hey, Cynthia, thanks for joining us here on KNEO.
Well, thank you so much, Luke. It's a privilege to be with you guys today.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about David because our family got to go see it last year, and we just want to make sure everybody knows about it while there's still time to see it. So just first introduce the show to us. Tell us what David is all about.
Oh, man. David is such an amazing, powerful story. You know, so many of us know the story of David as with Goliath, but, you know, David was a man that had so many different things going on in his life. He wasn't a perfect man. We know that. Mm-hmm. But he was definitely a man after God's own heart. And in our production, I think our audience members really, truly see that. I think through this production of bringing the Bible to life here on this stage of this amazing man's story, from little shepherd boy all the way up to a fierce warrior he was a poet. He wrote so many of our psalms that now we sing today in so much of our worship, to a king, to a man who failed and fell, but then God still redeemed his life. And I think so many of us can pick up on that and identify honestly with it in our own lives. And so I think it's just a story that when you come in, you'll see the spectacular of the sets and all the amazing, honestly, special effects. This one, it's really, truly one of our biggest set pieces, Goliath, of over 800 pounds, huge. And just to see how it falls, Goliath falls. And then to our goodness, we have an LED screen that's, 30 feet high by 100 feet wide, and it just brings that stage to life, intermixed with these amazing set pieces of craftsmanship. So I think people would see just amazing production, not just, a theater, but it just brings it to life. And our animals, of course, also.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So there's a whole lot I would love to ask you about, but I know we don't have all morning to chat about it. But just to mention Goliath right there, because we got to see everybody knows the David and Goliath story. That's what they're expecting to see when they go to see this production. And they've probably seen it depicted in other places as well. But the way you all bring it to life, and I won't spoil, I guess, how it looks, but it did look amazing. And I'm just like, I don't even know how you did the whole Goliath thing. I don't even really want to know. I'm just like, man, it just blew me away. How realistic and just how epic that whole scene was when he does have that face down.
It is. Definitely there's anticipation of what's going to happen, and I think even as the story of David being a young boy at that point and being willing to trust and believe in God's power first and foremost, that comes across so well in the story. And I think it gives me personally, gives me hope and, confidence in, I can rely on the Lord. He did it for David. I think he'll do it for all of us, when we do have our struggles, our true Goliaths that step into our life. And it really comes across very strongly in this show.
Yeah, there's a lot of great lessons from all that, and being able to just see it with your own eyes. It's one thing especially for kids to read it, but when they can see these things depicted, it becomes very memorable for them and helps it to stick in their heads. And can you tell us some of the feedback you've heard from people who've gone to see the show? So many people say it just comes to life. I had one gentleman met with me one time afterwards, and he said, this story, he goes, I don't like it. It's not like all your other ones. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, because it hit my heart really good. And he goes, all your other shows did too. He said, but this one, man, it touched my heart and made me think. And, I think that's the whole exciting thing. It's like, what
are these stories meaning to you personally as you walk out? And what are you going to do with them? So most people are saying it's just powerful, it's beautiful, it's definitely brings the Bible to life. Like you said, your son, they walk away, the music is just worshipful, and really it sticks with you.
Yeah.
You know I just keep humming the songs even when I'm not here. And my grandkids, like you said, I have several grandchildren that are similar to the age your kids, your son is, and they keep talking about it. And in fact, in our living room, then they want to reenact it, So I think that they're stories that guests are saying truly, truly came to life for them.
Yeah, my kid was 6 when he saw it. He's 7 now, but they got a CD that day too, and they've just been continuing to go back to those songs ever since. So it definitely it made a lot of memories for us. And I want to mention one more thing about the kids who go to see this too, because you mentioned David has some sins later on in his life, and the story of the David play at Sight and Sound in Branson, it goes on to show some of those things, but it does it in a very family friendly, kid appropriate way that you can take kids of any age to see this show. And if parent, I had a little bit of concern about that before I saw it. I'm like, well, if they go into the Bathsheba stuff, is it going to stay family friendly? And you guys really presented it in a way that it's 100% good clean time for them as well.
Thank you. We really appreciate you saying that, because it is so true. These are real things that happened. But we do, we can tell the story, but it's audience members will know what happened, and if their kids start asking, they can ask their parents. But it's enough where we know what went on, and kids, see that David did wrong, but they don't know what it was, truly, and so it's really exciting to know that we can tell those stories and bring it to light, because we are all flawed people, and our God is the God who redeems and restores and brings restoration to life, and we see that there. Yeah. So I really just appreciated how you handled that, and a lot of things in the show. One more thing I want to mention, and then we'll tell people where they can find out more about this show, but I also encourage people when they go, I know a lot of people like to sit right on the front row or as close to the front as they can, but I'll just say too, if you sit back a little bit, there's actually some action going on the sides of the theater. Like there's some staging on the left and right sides of the room, and so there's actually a little bit more action going on that you can see pretty good if you're more in the center of the auditorium. There's a lot of just the way that you bring the story to life. There's a lot of activity even going on in the peripheral. Right. This stage is so large. We have over 26,000 square feet on our stages, from our side stages, center stage, sides on both sides. So it's like wrapped around the side of you. You're truly immersed into the story with animals down the aisle, cast members down the aisles, interacting that way. And I feel like that is such a special gift that we have, that we can do that and utilize all that space with truly, spectacular set pieces that come to life that way. Yeah.
So I don't want people to keep that in mind as they go and check out, where they want to sit in the auditorium, and you get to pick out your seats and all that online. But you might just want to keep that in mind. And there's a lot to take in, and a lot of work that goes into this, and it really shows. So Cynthia, if people want to find out more about where they can get tickets or showtimes and all that, where do you send people for Sight and Sound Theaters?
Yes, I think the easiest way and the best way to do it is just to go right on our website to sight-sound.com, and you can find everything that you need to about our shows here in Lancaster, in Branson, Missouri, as well as in our Lancaster, Pennsylvania location, as well as our film. You can get information on that. Our new film opens up this week, A Great Awakening, so that's going to be really an exciting thing for a lot of our audience members to see that. But sight-sound.com. You can also call our 800 number, 800-377-1277. And, but we definitely recommend, book early, book direct with us. that's the best way for them to do that.
Okay, well, we would encourage people to go check all that information out. And we've been speaking today with Cynthia Carson. She's a general manager out there at Sight and Sound in Branson. She's been with the company for a long time. And hey, Cynthia, thank you so much for joining us here on KNEO and letting us know about David.
Thank you so much, Luke. It's a pleasure.